I hate to be the one to tell you this, guys, but if your woman is acting up, then she ain't being dicked down properly. In today's video, we're going to go over the not-so-subtle signs that your significant other is not a fan of your pipe game. My name is Stirling. I'm an award-winning adult film star, former high-class male companion, and I'm here to help you improve your sex life. So, a happy woman is a woman who is getting dicked down properly. And a woman who's nagging all the time, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you're with a woman who's nagging all the time, then that tells you that there's something significantly wrong in the bedroom. She's not getting that masculine assertiveness, that masculine dominance, that masculine polarity that she, as the feminine, needs. Nagging, a woman nagging, is kind of her, it's like this giant shit test. It's a couple of things. It's her shit testing you to see if you're going to back down and be a pussy, or if you're going to, step up and not set boundaries and not tolerate her bullshit, call her out on her bullshit, right? Assert yourself, get her back in line. Cool. That's one part of what nagging is. And two, it's also kind of, if it gets to the point where she's nagging, consistently and doing it all the time, it's kind of her angry at the fact that she's pair bonded or partnered up with a guy who she doesn't respect anymore. That's kind of where it ultimately comes from. So she's with a guy who she thought was, the real deal, thought was the shit, but he's failed too many shit tests. He's failed too many of her challenges to his masculinity. He's capitulated too much. He's not setting boundaries. He's not putting his foot down. He's not being dominant and masculine in the bedroom, for example. And she's come to resent that. And that resentment manifests itself in nagging, basically. A woman who is getting dicked down well, a woman who's orgasming all the goddamn time, a woman whose man is manhandling her in the bedroom, being very dominant, leading, and again, displaying that kind of polarity, that the masculine that she needs to oppose her feminine. This is not me telling you to punch women, by the way. That was just, I don't know. Don't misinterpret that too much. But a woman who's getting that masculine polarity in the bedroom, in her life, is a woman who's very happy. And is a woman who doesn't feel the need to test her man, because he's already demonstrating regularly that he is that strong masculine figure that she can depend upon. One of my friends kind of talks about it like this, you want to be that rock, and that her waves of emotion can just crash against unwaveringly. Now, here are some not so subtle signs that maybe there is something off with your dick game and the dynamic in your relationship. And let me preface this by saying, I fundamentally believe that this can be fixed and it can be changed. And the reason I believe this is because I've had numerous testimonials from men, emails, DMs, etc., from guys who've taken my bedroom advice and it's fixed and mended the dynamic in their relationship. You see, the bedroom is like the one place that we're allowed to be men still in the Western world. Outside of the bedroom, in the rest of the world, men are kind of being, pussified and told to capitulate and told to stop being toxically masculine, blah, 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 all this bullshit, right? We're sort of deliberately told not to adopt the natural gender roles. And the bedroom is the last bastion of masculinity. You won't see any women complaining about a man being a fucking man in the bedroom, because it's biology. They love it. That's what they naturally are attracted to and they naturally respond to sexually. So, if you have, I'm going to preface this by saying, if you have, or you notice some of these signs in your relationship, if you notice the things I'm going to go over right now, if you notice them, okay, understand that it's not all over for you, right? But re-establishing that male-female dynamic, that dominant, submissive dynamic in the bedroom can start to mend it in the outside world. Because the everyday relationship is just a manifestation of what the bedroom relationship is, I fundamentally believe. So if you are being naturally dominant and she's being naturally submissive in the bedroom, you're taking charge, you're leading, you're demonstrating that, then that's going to start to manifest itself in the everyday interactions between the two of you. Because, you know, it's far easier for her to reject the natural male-female gender roles in the real world because, you know, we've got the media, we've got all this feminist brainwashing, etc., etc. So if you tell her, oh, hey, baby, like, you know, can you cook and clean and blah, 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 whatever, around the house, she's going to come up with all this diatribe of preconditioned brainwashing bullshit to throw back at you, to resist that. In the bedroom, if you tell her, bend over, I'm going to spank you, or you start pulling her hair, or you start whispering dirty shit in her ear, or you start manhandling her and fucking her, right? It's all positive feelings for her, so there's nothing for her to resist against. So it's the best place for you to reestablish that masculine-feminine polarity in your relationship is the bedroom. So what are some of these not-so-subtle signs? Well, she's asking you to do chores. Like, oh, why haven't you taken out the trash? Why haven't you got the kids' lunch ready? Why haven't you washed the car? The bins need to be put out on the curb. All this kind of bullshit. Why haven't you done the dishes? All this kind of chore bullshit, like the domestic housework shit. If she's nagging you about doing all these things, what's happening there is she's trying to be more masculine and trying to make you more put you more feminine. That tells you, like, because women will naturally, they don't want to be in the masculine role, but they'll adopt it if the dude isn't being masculine himself. The dude is capitulating and being feminine. She'll, as a response to that, she'll naturally be more masculine. And you want it to be the other way around, which is the natural gender roles, right? But this is an example of her trying to get you to do like all these chores and houseworks and shit. That is her taking on a more masculine role. So that's a very, very strong indicator that the dynamic's off in the bedroom. Another big one is that she's not initiating sex with you at all. The healthiest relationship dynamic is when the woman wants sex from the man more than the man wants sex from her. Like, if she's constantly begging you for your dick or trying to initiate sex with you again and again, this is healthy. This is the correct orientation. So if she's not initiating sex with you at all, that tells you immediately that the passion's gone from your bedroom. That tells you immediately that whatever you're doing in the bedroom ain't stimulating her enough to make her want to really crave it and be desperate to get it again and again. In addition to that, is she rejecting your sexual advances all the time? You know, if you go to initiate things in the bedroom or whatever, is she, you know, what's the classic line? Oh, I've got a headache, or not tonight, or the kids are still awake, the kids aren't asleep, or I've got work tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. Any of these kind of excuses. That tells you that there's something wrong with your previous sexual interactions. That she's not craving it, that she's not really yearning for it. Because if she's getting dick down right, if she's getting good dick, she will make fucking any excuse to get it. Like, she will lose sleep. She will potentially embarrass herself in public or something if you want to get freaky in the car or down an alleyway or some shit. You know what I mean? She ain't making all these excuses to avoid it. She's making excuses to get it. She's finding exceptions to the rule to actually get that dick, right? So if she's rejecting your sexual advances, okay, that tells you something. So one of the ways that I do often tell guys to start reigniting this passion is to be a bit more spontaneous when you initiate sex. So maybe she's, I don't know, cooking in the kitchen or doing the dishes or something. If you pull her skirt up and start playing with her pussy and stuff and whispering dirty shit in her ear and kissing her on the neck, okay, but you're doing this spontaneously, randomly during the day, that actually has a better chance of going down well than the routine, oh, it's bedtime, let's get frisky, because it's predictable and it's boring and it's played out. She's had that experience so many times, and she knows what that experience is like, and unfortunately, it's probably not a good one if she's having that reaction to it. Understand that a lot of this sort of nagging, masculine like behaviors from her are subconsciously her wanting you to put your foot down and re-establish your authority. That's ultimately what she might not be consciously aware of it, she might never admit it, but subconsciously that is what she wants. She wants you to be the authority, want you to take control and be in charge. So that's a way of reframing all this kind of negative naggy behavior, is to think of it that way. It's a far healthier way of thinking about it. It's like, oh, she wants me to step up and be the fucking man and put my goddamn foot down. And maybe she wants you to spank her in the bedroom while you're doing it. So if you want to learn a few more ways to turn her into a secret degenerate and get things fired up again, I suggest you check out this video right here.